We've all gotten those holiday photos in the mail from family and friends and love them as much as you do. The matching Christmas sweaters on Mom, Baby, and Fido, they're just not helping anyone. So how do you avoid ending up on awkwardfamilyphotos.com? Well, we've enlisted help from a professional model. She recently graced the issue of More magazine. It's a publication dedicated to the 40-plus female, and today she's got some advice you might want to take to heart before sitting for that holiday photo. Welcome back, Shelley. Good to see you.
It's great to see you.
So we have some beautiful photos of you and your family. They are extremely beautiful, considering they have you as a mom, but we're going to talk about everything from how to choose a professional photo to good lighting if you want to take them yourself. This first one being the traditional photo, what to wear. How do you choose that?
Well, you know, the thing is, when you're getting ready for a photo like this, this is the money shot. You know, you want everyone looking good together, and you don't necessarily want everyone matching. You want to keep it real. And you know, how many of us really walk out of the door in the morning with our families looking exactly the same?
All in white jeans.
Yeah, like, you know, with the white shirt and the denim. I mean, it's nice. It's kind of an old look, so it's better to change it up now. And you know, once you get this posing, you know, it's a traditional shot, you're positioned correctly. Don't forget to breathe, because once you're in this and if you're holding your breath and you're in a held pose, you're going to look frozen and lifeless, and you'll never want that hanging on your wall forever.
Yes, yes.
And models know, like, when you're taking a photo, that anything that feels awkward really is going to look awkward. And if you're tensing up, you know, all these like muscles show up, and it really shows in your photos. So you want to keep it natural and not be so posy, because those aren't really usually the pictures that you love.
Well, is there any way though to get people to loosen up? Because I can speak into a camera, but anytime you put a real camera on me, I just freeze up. So what advice do you have to really get people to loosen up?
Well, and I think our next photo is a good example. I don't know if we can throw that up or not.
The football pile.
Yeah, and it actually is just that. It's a football pile. We're just kind of laying on top of each other and having a good time, and there are no fake smiles there. And sometimes when you're the producer, like Mom is usually always the producer, you got to do what you got to do to get that shot. So if it means, you know, handing Dad a cocktail before you take the photo, or flirting a little bit and telling him that he looks really studly that day, or, you know, just tickling the kids and really making them laugh. And you can always resort to someone making farting noises or burping, because kids always like toilet humor.
That's true.
And you'd rather have them in like peals of laughter than those really plastic, forced-on smiles.
Right. And that was taken in your backyard, right?
It was.
So it's not necessarily something that you have to go to a big production studio, get everybody dressed up really nicely. It's almost maybe more comfortable if you just do it in your backyard.
It is. It's so easy. Dad shows up, the kids are comfortable. It's the best. And you can get a neighbor to come take the picture. You can even do a self-timer. You can include your pets. We always usually include our pets. And
they're family, right?
Yeah. And then this photo that you have up is the same photo, but now it's oriented differently, and it's in a sepia tone. And you can tell that it gives you like a whole different feeling.
I didn't even realize that was the same photo.
Isn't it funny?
And I've seen those before.
Yeah, well, you can salvage a photo by adding borders or cropping them, and you know, it's just sometimes if people are in like the wrong colors, just adding this little sepia or black and white effect can kind of mute everything. Right. But really just try to choose colors that complement each other, and, you know, lay them out beforehand, because, you know, you'll see it on the bed. You want to be the most prepared you can be. And everyone says, like, the camera adds 10 pounds. And I don't really think that's true.
I like to say it adds 20.
Well, I know a lot of people. But I think that how you're choosing and what you're choosing to wear makes a bigger difference. And if you're choosing bulky fabrics, like sweaters and sequins or things that are bulky like that, you're going to look bigger. And if your clothes don't fit, even if they're too big or too small, you know, and test them out, because if you're sitting or you're going to be changing positions and there's any bulging or any pulling, stretching, it's going to show up in your photos. So, you know, you're getting new clothes or you're doing whatever, make sure you test drive it.
That is really good advice. And we have one last photo, I believe, and this is when you were on vacation.
Oh yeah, this is our vacation spot, and sometimes, you know, the simpler the better, unplanned, spur of the moment. We had just come up from the beach and we ordered lunch, and while we were waiting for lunch, my girlfriend was there and she snapped this photo, and you can see we're like sitting on this high top, but we're not sitting around it traditionally. We got a little more creative. And you can kind of recreate this indoors too. If you have like a big kitchen island, you can put your little guy or your little girl in a tutu on top of the kitchen island and, you know, gather around it, take the photo, or don't be afraid to move furniture around in your house. And
so think about it, but don't overthink about it.
Yeah, I mean, like in that photo, it wasn't about the clothes. Obviously, we're in swimwear, and the background's really simple, but it shows our family, and it shows, you know, that moment, that snapshot in time.
Right, and I lied. We have more photos to go through. I think this next one's Spotlight. Oh, yeah, and this one's super fun.
This is a great photo. We all have sunglasses on, so we did like tint this and do some crazy effect to it. Yeah, it was my daughter's red carpet birthday party, and we were all like the bouncer managers in black. And you know, most of the time you do want to compliment. You don't want one person to stand out, but sometimes you do. And this was hard to convince my daughter of. She was really sure she wanted to wear black too. And so I was trying to say, you know, no, you're going to pop out. And she put this dress on, and she said, I don't like it. And I said, well, what don't you like about it? And she's like, it makes me look short. Oh. And I'm like, you're 7.
You are short.
Right? So, you know, and that I hired a photographer to take pictures because, you know, I'm always taking pictures and I'm never in them. So,
right, exactly.
And I found this person on Craigslist and he was great. But you can also like check in the universities or Photoshop. Sometimes people leave their cards. People that have a passion for photography that aren't expensive.
And very quickly, we have one last, this real life photo, which is beautiful, most beautiful, I think.
Thank you. You know, this is when my kids were really little, and you can see I did do the matchy-matchy. It's almost 10 years old, but if you look really closely, my little daughter has Care Bears in her hand, and sometimes with little kids, it's good to give them something. Like, you don't want a big truck or big toy, but for my boys, I used to give them little Matchbox cars. And you know, sometimes not everyone has to be looking at the camera.
I think it's so cute.
Kids, especially babies and kids, it's very innocent when they don't. But that particular photo, my daughter had just thrown up all over me.
Oh, but it still looked beautiful.
Well, sometimes the babies are crying and they're screaming, and it's funny, and you have to laugh because that is your life. It is real life.
And it's a great picture.
And you don't know it then, but that probably will be one of your favorite
great
photos. Yeah.
Shelley, thank you so much.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Oh, good to have you. And to learn more about sitting pretty for your holiday photo, check out Shelley's advice at aboutme/GoodStein.
Yes, I wrote a book because so many of my friends were always asking me, how do you take a good picture? And a lot of my friends also have young girls that want to get into the modeling business. So I wrote this book, and it's for the ordinary girl, how to look great in a photograph. And it doesn't matter what your age is, you always want a beautiful photograph.